I have my headphones in, so I'm gonna try not to raise my voice. I noticed in past recordings, when I have my headphones in, I raise my voice. But I don't want the wave that I'm running on to stop. So here we go. This is a quick one. When you are a young man, still figuring it out, still maturing, and starting to realize it's not the reality that you get to continue being sheltered. That eventually you have to find your shelter, make your shelter, secure your protection from the big bad world out there. And when you're in that stage, as a young man, you will project your immature ideal of strength. You will project the person that you want to be but are not yet. And oftentimes, because you are immature and you're deceiving yourself or trying to deceive others, you're still in formation. When you're underdeveloped like that, you come off as obnoxious. And if you don't grow out of that, you're gonna stunt your ability to gain wisdom and maturity. So you have to kind of die to yourself. You have to go through a natural death and resurrection into manhood. And the entrance into manhood is when you truly accept that you're not who you want to be, and you stop blaming everything and everyone around you, and you start taking a hard look at yourself and accepting that you fail. You are a failure. You are not who you want to be. You are not who you should be. And you start to be honest with yourself and with everyone around you while you're working towards who you hope to be. And the only hope you have of achieving that goal really is God's grace. Only by God's grace can you conform to God's will, and only in conforming to God's will can you finally arrive at the fulfillment of who you are created to be. And this is not an overnight process. This may likely carry on into an extended period in the church suffering, in purgatory, in the sanctification in Christ after death. But as long as you let go of the lie and you start to enter into the way, the truth, and the life, then you are a man. And just by letting go of the lie and seeking the way, the truth, and the life. Maybe just at looking towards the vague horizon of the way, the truth, and the life. Not even knowing Christ yet, you have entered into manhood. Manhood is integrity. And if you are willing to sacrifice your integrity for the sake of your ego in an attempt to conceal your failure and your inadequacy, then you cannot have maturity. You cannot be honest. You cannot be a man. And then you will live in fear. And where there is fear, there cannot be love. There cannot be God. But just by stepping into truth, you step into love, and you leave that bondage of fear, of deception. And that is liberating, to think that you're not good enough, but you're comfortable. You're comfortable with the journey you're on. That really is your entrance into the fire. And when you dive into Christ, you really abide in that fire and purge all your iniquities. So, if you want to be a man, it isn't by convincing yourself or others a lie of who you want to be, but by acknowledging your failure and doing something about it. Step by step, ascending that mountain in humility. That is the humble warrior. That is the only way to be a man. So, take it or leave it. That's my advice. Once you do that, the weight of the world will be removed from your shoulders because you will transcend the world. You won't be a slave to temporality, to this world, this flesh, and this devil. You'll be set free. True freedom. True freedom, as St. John Paul II has said, tapping into the wisdom of Holy Mother Church, true freedom is not being able to do what you want to do, but having the ability to do what is right, what you ought to do, conforming to the will of God. Correspond to God's grace, conform to God's will, abide in the fire.